Hey y'all, it's Beer Third Machine. Today we're going to go over $100 items that sold for me, so stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome if you're new to the channel. My name is Julian, also known as the Beer Third Machine here on YouTube, and I buy stuff and flip it online and make YouTube videos about it. I also do haul videos, the day in the life of an eBay reseller, and a whole bunch of videos that I just grab the GoPro and film. Today is going to be a little bit different. I don't sell a lot of things over $100. I did pick out 11 that are definitely different things. I could show you just a whole bunch of like golf clubs that sold over $100, like the sets, and most of that's going to be Ping or Callaway or TaylorMades. But this one right here is going to be actually like 11 different items that you might not think that goes over $100, or maybe you do. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what sold for me. These are not in the last couple of days. They have probably been in the last couple of months, I would say, probably at least 3 months or so. So let's go ahead and get started. I will try to tell you exactly how much I had into the item and how long it took for them to also sell. So again, 11 over $100. Let's get to it. The first one right here is going to be some Kershaw blade interchangeable trader knife set, 6-blade model BT with the case, and these were made in Japan. Kershaw is a pretty good brand to look out for knives. They're like you have your super high-end knives and then you have your low-end knives. I would say Kershaw is in the middle because a lot of their knives go for $100 or $200, and some knives out there are like super high end, they go for like $500 to $600. But definitely a good brand to look out for, especially at yard sales, Goodwills and stuff. I actually picked this up for an auction, and I picked it up, I only think, for 10 to 20 bucks, and it sold almost immediately for $105, and the buyer did pay shipping here. And it's interchangeable because on the picture right there, you see the handle, and you basically flip this thing up and then slid one of the blades in and then closed it and it locked it in place. So super cool. So really you're buying, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're buying 6 knives for $105 with Kershaw blades made in Japan. Pretty cool. It had different types of knives like fillet knives, saws, utility knives. So it was definitely a really cool thing, but didn't know it was going to go for that much money. I just bought it thinking it would go for like 50 bucks. Turns out went for 105. This Shimano Spyrex 2500 RG spinning reel with a rear fighting drag went for $120, and the buyer did pay shipping. I got this out of a storage locker and probably only really paid like $5 for it because I made my money back on that storage locker very fast. But with these Shimanos or any reel, I always tell people is you need to comp these things out. Usually with a reel, you can feel when you start getting into like fishing gear, you can feel the weight of an expensive reel compared to a non-expensive reel. You can reel it, you can feel like how the mechanics work on it. And once I picked this one up, I knew this one was going to be at least worth 50 bucks just by how smooth it was. The mechanics were nice. Everything felt like it was well built. Shimano's a really good brand to look out for, but always comp them out because I just sold 4 Shimanos today for $27. So a huge difference there in prices on reels. But when you start getting into them, you can feel them and stuff and pick them up and feel the weight of them. Usually you can tell which one's going to be worth money, but this one right here, 120 bucks, so not too bad. This is a new Wilson racquetball racket laser stick, 3 5/8. The original price on this was $220. I did a lot of research on these rackets. I picked them up in North Carolina for $4, and it took me forever to figure these out. Turns out this guy in Texas that I sold all my racquetball rackets to loved the Wilson laser sticks, and they just don't make them anymore. So anything like new, old stock, this wasn't super old. I think I dated it back going to like 6 years ago, but a lot of people used them. But this went really quick for $125, and then he bought, I think, another for $110 or $130. But you also need to comp these out. This one took a lot of research to figure out exactly what it was because it has a barcode there. It wouldn't scan, couldn't find it. I found it on actually Google. But right here, racquetball rackets, they can be worth a ton of money. This Olympus 35 RD 35 millimeter film camera did go for $160, and the buyer did pay shipping. These had a little bit higher comps, but a lot of those had like the original boxes and stuff. I picked this up for $10 at a Salvation Army and sold very quickly. I think I had it listed for $190 or something like that. But anyway, they offered me $160 plus shipping, and all they asked was there any fungus inside the lens, or and this thing worked good. It actually still, everything worked. I had like a little battery in it, and that was still actually working. So it worked perfectly, but Again, everything that I'm going to tell you, you have to comp out because the models are so important. You might pick up another Olympus 35 millimeter that's only worth 50 bucks or 20 bucks, but this one right here, the Olympus 35 RD, I can tell you is worth at least $160 plus shipping. This one right here is going to be the Sony PS Vita handheld. This one had the box, the original stuff inside the box. It looked like it was brand new, and any like old video games that still have the original box just ups the value right there. And I got this for 30 bucks, went for $199 plus shipping, and it only took a week to sell on eBay, so happy with that return. But again, when I see older video games, I'm not a video game guy, like I really don't know video games or consoles or anything, but when I see an older one with the original box, I usually always try to buy it. This right here, so selling things for parts. This is perfect example. I bought a huge electronic slot that has a whole bunch of these HDD like little hard drives, and there was a 75 of them. Now I know it's a lot, but lotting things up is how I also make a lot more money, I think, and not wasting a whole bunch of time. You could probably specifically go through and say these were Samsung, Hitachi, Toshiba, and figure all that stuff out, but I lotted them all up, and they went for $127.50, and the buyer did pay shipping. This was on an auction. I've been doing a ton more auctions, and auctions really have been working out for me for sure. And I had like literally nothing into these whatsoever. So again, lotting things up is super important. I like to do that because it ups exactly how much that's going to be, like the amount that the person pays on it, and I don't have to waste time going through each one and doing a whole bunch of $10 items where I can just sell everything for $175 and make 5, 6, 10 times my money on it. So this one right here is going to be a Sony handycam 8mm. This one sold for $200, and the buyer did pay shipping. This has a, when you look at these handycams, there's a number on it, the TRV, and then there's going to be like a number at it. Just run that comp. I haven't found one that goes like less than $100. This one sold for $200. I sold another one just recently for $170, and they sell within at least 2 or 3 weeks. I forget how much. I only paid 10 bucks for this one. The other one I paid 50 bucks for. So I will pay up for these, especially if they come. This one came with, brand new tapes. It came with multiple batteries. It came with the actual remote. It came with the case. So all that stuff adds into the value, and you're usually going to make about $200 on these things. So they're always a good pickup. This right here is a Tapco Brake Buddy. I actually didn't know what this was when I started to buy this on an auction. I spent up for it though, about $100. I only doubled my money, but sold within a week. And with these, the big difference in the Tapco Brake Buddies is you needed the extra attachments really to make it worth a whole bunch of money. I had another one that sold only for about $100 because it didn't have the attachments or the case, and this just helps bend trim basically. So again, kind of a weird thing to buy, but I knew that it was going to be worth some sort of money because any type of construction tool that is that has a specialty tool for it usually can be worth some money. So definitely comp that stuff out. I don't find those a lot at like yard sales or anything, but definitely auctions is when you're going to see those. This Ping Eye 2 set, this is a 2-through wedge. Now that's important because it's usually a 3-through wedge, a 3-iron through a wedge. This one had an extra club in it, which is a 2-iron, and these were ZZ Light steel left-handed clubs. These were in perfect condition, excellent grips. They went for $199, and the buyer did pay shipping. And remember, they did take probably about 2 or 3 weeks to sell. I got these also in North Carolina, and I got them for dirt cheap at the bins, so I was happy with that. But all that comes into play when you're doing these sets of clubs. A 2-through wedge is going to be worth more than a 3-through wedge because they get the extra club, and the 2-iron is kind of sometimes hard to find for these. You have to buy it separately, and usually that club's gonna be worth 30 bucks or 40 bucks. So definitely a good sale there. Ping is one of my favorite brands to find. I actually haven't found a whole bunch of golf clubs lately, but Ping Eye 2s, I always pick them up, especially if they're in the set. I love them. This one right here is a satellite phone I picked up for $82 at my last auction, and this thing sold within like probably an hour or two. I had it listed for $300, which I thought was high because I was going to do a sale on my store. Someone offered me very quickly $275 plus shipping, and I took that. This right here, it says phone and charger only. There was a SIM card in here. This thing actually worked. I turned it on, tried to make a phone call. Turns out you need to have a plan for satellite phones, and satellite phone plans go for an outrageous amount of money. But you can actually make emergency calls on this. So if I wanted to, I could have just kept it, and if when I go fishing offshore, I could have probably still made emergency calls, but we don't really go that far offshore where we lose signal on our cell phones anymore. So this one right here did go for $275 plus shipping and took very fast to sell. This one is probably my biggest sale on eBay. I've done some bigger sales, locally, but this one right here was my biggest sale on eBay. This is an old Tony Hawk independent skateboard. I got this out of a storage locker. Had no idea what it was. I ended up doing some research on it. I talked to my brother about it because he knows a little bit about skateboards, and I had it listed pretty high for like $500. Somebody offered me $350 plus shipping. I obviously took that because I had nothing in it at the time of the sale. So definitely a really good buy there and a super good return. And that's all that I have to show for $100 and over. I don't sell a lot of things that go over that, but the biggest things here where I found these is I've always comped these guys out because I've always been like, I picked it up or saw it and just looked a little bit expensive or felt expensive, comped it out and realized it was worth some money. So right there, I do these videos that you can go out there and hopefully find some of these items, flip them online and make some money for yourself. I do appreciate y'all watching. Hopefully it's been educational. Hopefully you learned something, and I will always catch you on the next one.